Hello, everyone. We're True Carlton, and welcome to another awesome day of FileMaker training at fmtrain.tv. Today's conversation is about bill of materials and materials parts lists, material manufacturing. And so, before we get into that, and Calvin's here to keep me out of trouble, we're today, tomorrow, and Friday for sure. We're talking about BOMs. Okay, so Calvin is here with me today once again, and it's to a degree it's an open Q&A, but we're focusing on this idea of bill of materials and also building upon what we've already learned about, frankly, the two things that are the hardest for people to really understand is the building the relationship graph following basic rules of anchor buoy and also the mechanical thought process of scripting. And so both those two things together will help you build an awesome FileMaker solution that will really help your organization. That's the true power and benefit of the platform, is the ability to make a solution that saves people time and effort, helps give them time back in their lives. Maybe instead of 12 hours, they can work 8 or 9 hours, save it time. With some organizations, we've seen that before, and I've had people in tears thanking us for what we do and helping them. And I'm sure a lot of you have had that opportunity as well. Very rewarding to have a job in the world of FileMaker building solutions. Really quite special. If you want to support the channel, we're going to request that you go over to the fmtrain.tv live stream website, which you see right here, and press the bundles button, which allows you to purchase one of the training bundles. We are starting and continuing to update the training and updating at least the initial videos for the next release. Once again, from release to release of FileMaker, Claris's goal is not to break the crap out of everyone's solution. That being said, the running thought process is that everyone kind of keeps loosely up to date. I wouldn't get more than 2 or 3 years on the outside behind in updating your solution. I always, at RCC, we stay up to date with Pro within 6 months or something, if not faster than that. We always use the latest versions of Pro unless there's like a really hideous bug with it. Server, maybe 6 months to a year, 2 years on the outside. I did receive another unfortunate email, and I don't doubt the person's here, but they said, hey, we're an IT professional. We're doing all this terminal services stuff. And can you come in here and help us with FileMaker 5.5, 5.5, not FileMaker 55, which would be in the future. We're talking about something literally from 25 years ago or 24 years ago. And I'm like, well, everyone who's worked on that is either retired or dead. And I say that, people think I'm kidding. Unfortunately, it's one of those statements true. So it's really an old product, and we don't have a computer that would run that at all, right? I have a copy of, for example, FileMaker 10 on a Mac. I can get it to run for about 5 to 6 to 10 seconds, then it crashes, and I can't keep it running. So that's kind of the problem people run into. They don't invest, and you get too far behind, it becomes a real big mess. So we want to keep everyone up to date, so that's what you see us working on, making sure you're using at least later version of FileMaker 19. If not, you're not using FileMaker 20. And when I say FileMaker 20, it came out in 23, but the technical version is 20. Once again, I keep trying to explain this to Claris. So if you hear the reference to FileMaker 23 or the word 20, both those mean the same thing. Calvin, you look very focused. Are you okay?
Yeah,
Are you
doing
good to
good.
go? Okay, good. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen if Margaret will let me share my screen. And so what we're doing today is this conversation about BOMs. And I'm about to upload the file real quick, so it's on a FileMaker server. I'm going to upload it probably to ETS. I could probably do ETS. Let me try that. So ets.rcc.com. If any of you have a real serious driving desire to log on to it, it's probably fine. I'm going to log into it right here. And then the file password is 1234. So Calvin, you can get into it here. It'll be on this ETS server. I'm going to put the password in here. And there it goes. I'm going to upload the file, so it's running. So it's a very simple file. And so the idea is, what is a BOM, okay? Bill of materials is the idea that and some people call them BOMs, some people call them kits, K-I-T-S. But the idea is that you're going to assemble something together. And it might be like, it might be as simple as something like, let me just go and open this up real quick. So it might be as something as simple as like you're going to make a lunch for 100 people. Like you're a cafeteria and you're making a lunch, and so you have a lunch bag, and I'm waving my hands, hopefully people can see me. Say you're building sack lunches for 100 people, right? You go to pause on there, like the last day, they'll make you a sack lunch. That's actually a kit, okay? And so say that you take a pre-made sandwich from a fast food store or something, 7-Eleven or something. You take a bag of chips, a drink, some carrots or something in a little bag, and you put them in a paper bag. You're assembling the kit. And so you could have the idea is that you would have the paper sack or the lunch sack, and then you would have the elements that you put in there. And so this is a parent and a child relationship. Where it gets interesting and why people and every business does these a little differently. We were talking to Brock the other day, and he works with a manufacturing company where they're doing they're manufacturing furniture. And so like if you're a really clever manufacturer and you didn't really care necessarily about quality too much, you could source the completed furniture from China, have it put in a container ship, come over here, relabel it as made in the United States. I'm just talking about United States at the moment. Made in USA authentically by Chinese laborers in Taiwan or in Hong Kong or someplace wherever else they would be. And the idea is that you could buy it and maybe the furniture is complete and you add a box to it and label it and do some other stuff. And that would be assembling it kind of cheesy, weaselly. Brock's company actually takes raw materials. So one part of the company takes the wood in, they build the frame. Another part of the company buys the foam packaging and they build the seat cushions, and they have like maybe leather or faux leather or fabric of some sort of covering. And so they build these chairs and couches, things like that. Well, the entire process, it's not just that you have the top level here. So this would be like, for example, in a situation, it's multi-level is what this gets into. And so level one is like the final assembly. You could call it final assembly if you wanted to. I just called it level one. And then you have like this boom mic assembly over here, right? And then you could come down here and you're just like, well, what if I want to see level two? Right? And level two, now I duplicated level one right here, and you're like, well, what did I do, Richard? Real quick, what I do is I want to show this real quick. If I got a database, and from a table standpoint, I have the top parent and the top elements that go into the BOM, the product, the couch or the headset. And so the top level components are in level one. But say some of the components in level one were manufactured or assembled at level two. So you have the woodworking department that manufactures the frame of the couch, and they're in a different building maybe, right? And they finish it and then they put it on a pallet or some forklift, and the guy gal drives it over from building one to building two. And then the final building, they do the final assembly. So maybe level two is wood manufacturing, right? So over here is like a wood frame or something like that, and down below here could be raw materials like the wood. Well, we want so many feet of oak wood that's a certain density, right? It's one of the things I learned about manufacturing aircraft back in the days. You would manufacture aircraft, but there's a weight difference in wood between balsa and cedar and oak and this other stuff. And so you have to, you'd say, well, I want wood, but what kind of wood? Well, I want oak wood with a certain weight and this kind of thing. And so that it allows you to track the cost of that source material. It also allows you to track the labor that goes into manufacturing, because the idea is that you figure out how much you spent at level four on these items and the material cost and the labor, and that rolls up to level three, which rolls up to level two, which rolls up to level one. So each of these levels is a subchild, right?
Yeah. So one area that I see this a lot is working with contractors. So a contractor is going to build something, and they need all of these supplies for the bill of materials. And maybe he's doing building a deck and building a walkway and doing some other stuff. Each one of those items, maybe the deck is one bill of materials, the walkway is a second bill of materials, and some of those things might have the same material in it, but you have to see how much each of those items needs, and then from that they can build a pick list of all the material that they're going to need for this project. And also you can see the cost breakout for each item on there. Maybe the client decides they want to change things to save or cost, or maybe they have enough of a budget they can increase.
Exactly. Calvin's got it exactly right. What I'm going to do right here is I realized over here is that you run into this design issue. So remember with anchor buoy and relational design, the layout's attached to a table occurrence. Okay, and the table occurrence that we have is right over here. So this is my main table, and so while I'm on here, I need to see the portal for level one, but I can't see level two except seeing it through level one. So while these are interesting to see and it shows you how things are kind of relationally connected, like all the level three items belong to level two, all the level two items belong to at least one record in level one, but I'm on here and I want to see portal level two directly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this one. I'm just going to tell it to duplicate it, and it says level five. There is no level five. That's its FileMaker being cute with its numbering. I'm going to say level two, and I'm going to say, let's see, I'll call it two here. And what I want
That
to do is just,
works.
yeah, something like this. And what I want to do, but though, is I want to be able to, if I was on level one, the use case. So remember, we build the relationship graph to support what we want to do on the layout. So what I want to do here is this is a parent record, good. This is level one, which is good. Level two, I want to basically select an item on level one and have it show me the items from level two. That makes sense what I said? So I want to, like, if I'm over here and I have a boom mic assembly and it's made by a bunch of different parts, I want to be able to like somehow click on this somehow and then have level two show me those items. Okay. Now, the way I'm going to do this initially is I'm going to tell it to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a global field that allows me to select the item off of level one. So in an ideal world, not on this live stream necessarily, I would press a button and we could write a script, grab the value from here, stick it in the global. Then with this global right here, I'm going to connect this global on the parent record to the level two right here. That makes sense. Margaret, you ran into this the other day. You were asking about this. We never solved this problem for you with Big Valley Aviation, okay? So I want to directly access some crap from level two. Because remember, if you're from here to here, and then from here to here, what record is it going to see over here? It's going to see record one. Does that make sense? For the most part, it's going to see record one, right? And so if you want to select an item in the portal over here, just because I select an item in the portal doesn't mean it's going to see record two. It only sees the first related record. It shows me the rest, but I have no way of specifying, show me the level two items that are attached to the third record in level one. There's no way of doing that. So what I have to do is come over here, create a global that allows us, that we're going to select a global here. And then I'm going to have it come down here and attach to level this foreign key right here. So this foreign key right here, this level one, is this foreign key right here. Okay. I'm trying to forcibly force this display only what I want. This right here is going to forcibly display just the items off the, do I have that right, Calvin? It's the items just off the first related record of level one, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, if you do level two, you're going to see, well, no, actually, if you do level two here, through that relationship, you'll see everything.
We see everything like that?
Yeah. And
For fun, let's try that. So I'm going to put this one down. Here's the new one we're going to work on. I'm going to call that level two here. It's the one with the global. Okay. And then the problem is all these fields have to be fixed too, right? So just give me just a second to fix these. And then I'm going to do the other one because I want to, if I'm stuck and confused, I want to make sure that everyone is on board with what I'm doing here. So just do that, do that, do that, do that. So this one right here won't work unless I use the global. I specify something in the global, okay? So I say level two like that. Now, so if I go to browse mode, this is going to show nothing. If I put over here, like this is the level one part, and I said this is the boom mic assembly right here, there's nothing in level two yet, but if I put it right here, then I should be able to allow it to enter. I couldn't create a new related record. I'll double click. I'll say allow creation of related record, right? So this is the layouts attached to this. I'm on a portal right here. We're going to look at the portal over here momentarily. We'll create this one just to see what that does, right? So now these are the parts I've selected, essentially the boom mic assembly. And I would say, if I was over here on my PDF, and Calvin, your face is in the way. Let me get them over here. So here is the boom mic parts. I got 20, 21, 20. Let's just say it's 20, 21, 22 are the parts over here. So I'm going to go down to 20. Okay, there's 20 boom kit. Oh, that's actually it right there. That entire, that's the entire boom kit assembly with attachment. So they've already set this, established this. Is it 19 or 20? Okay, so what they did is this is 19. So they have a sub-assembly here. They have a sub-assembly here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this one in over here. We do that real quick. I'm going to do this one right here. And that's got a part number right here. And that's that internal piece. Let me just do this real quick. And then I'm going to say this is a assembled component. So someone's going to assemble this for me. Okay. Then there's this other one over here, which is this kit over here. It's another kit. Let me just put that over here. So people understand that these two pieces would be pre-assembled along with all these other pieces, and we would put them together. Does that make sense? So this is partly why this is confusing, is because is that some of these are individual parts, but some of these will already be pre-cooked together. Does that make sense? So I've got this kit and this kit. So if I want to look at LO5, I come to LO5 right here. Once
And
again,
you can select that, put that select button there, and that will set it for you.
Did some elf just build this for me?
I just did.
Yeah, you would be the elf I'm referring to. The elf that shall not be mentioned. That's why I put this on the server, because I knew that like this would happen. So if I hit here, it puts it there. Well, Calvin, since I'm being greedy, okay. Oh, can you give it so I can see the title
Yeah.
and the level here for me?
Yeah, you can do it now.
Oh, okay.
I'm out.
No, you're gonna need to update your stuff. Go ahead and make that. No, that's what I'm saying. If I select, I want to see Boom Kit and then LO5 right here, so I know which one I've selected, because that's going to drive really.
Yeah.
It's really going to drive. Let me see, man. I'm going to draw. Well, no, you do the layout edits right here. Okay.
Okay.
When you got that done, let me know. But I can come down here and I can add part. So if I'm working on 20, what's under 20? If I go back up here, 20, I had 20 has 20, 22 and 21, and probably that O-ring has got a part, but I don't see that either. But I'm going to put 21 and 22 over here. So I go to 21 is the microphone. I'm going to put the microphone here, come back over here. I'm going to do 22. Oh, with O-ring. So 22, it's that piece of foam and that O-ring. It should encompass both of those right here. As an engineer, I'm offended. Put that right. Oh, hang on. Let me grab that again. O-ring, come over here, put that over there. Okay, now the part number is, hang on. Ooh, okay, I'm gonna change okay, Calvin, can you move this down there to the right, the level 1 part number, if it's attached down here, make it portal wider, and put the actual part number right here, so I can put the SKU number. Because remember, these are primary keys that we have here. L indicates it's a primary key for level 2, but we actually have the actual David Clark part number, which are over here. So I've got this part number here. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to paste that in there. I just screwed that up because I got ahead of Calvin. He wasn't quite ready for me to do that yet. So everyone following on Calvin's doing it. I'm going to put this one here. Yeah, they're both gone. We'll have to go back and let me pop a new window, see if I can fix those. Level 2. There we go. How come the type isn't here? It should be on here. Let me see that real quick.
Right there.
Part number. There it is. Not type.
Part number. Not okay.
Okay, so I'm going to move copy, cut, put that there. I'm going to move this one. Copy, cut, put it there. And then these are attached to L5. Is that where these are attached to? LO5, L105. So I'm just fixing this because our demo broke here. There we go. This is fixing the. Okay, so now, okay, and then change that label there, Calvin, to the part number for level 2, so we can see the actual part number. So these are the real David Clark part numbers. So if you call them up and you get tech support on the call, these little L numbers here, right here, Calvin. Right.
I got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing like me waving my hands. Mark, do we have questions along the way that are on topic at the moment?
We had someone asking about the relationship graph. I'm going to fling it at you, and then you can put a pin in it maybe for a later day. Isn't it, couldn't you create an cross-reference table instead of many cascading levels?
I created this graphic over, I'm going to let Calvin keep working on that. So that's going to be the actual SKU part number for level 2 right there, Calvin, if you see my
Yep.
mouse right here. Okay. I created this top one to kind of show you how, forgetting databases, forgetting everything, this is how logically this stuff connects together. Okay. I hadn't built the layout yet. When I built it, I built this and I built this, but I need to see the items for number 2 that are relevant to, I'm not sure what Calvin did over
And
here.
level 1 was just for showing that one name that we selected.
Oh, okay, got it. The one name right there.
So
Okay, that's fine.
yeah. So, but one of the things to point out here is that the way that the relationship graph is set up in this, the level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, is to kind of help you wrap your mind around what's going on and understand the flow of the data versus how we would actually set this up in a database. You don't normally go beyond the grandchild in the anchor buoy relationship graph.
Correct. Yeah. So Calvin's saying it a different way. What I was trying to do is illustrate to everyone they would mentally understand that this is the main product, the headset. This is going to be probably sub-assemblies, right? And a couple parts. And then down here is this. And then the microphones were maybe purchased from Mitsubishi or someone like that, Samsung, someone who makes electronic components. So they would source the microphones and the wire and all these, and they start to build in the components until they eventually roll up into a completed headset. The complete headset would include the box. So if you're over here building the final BOM, you have the instruction manual, the box, the warranty card that's inside. All those are parts of the final item up here. You would see them listed at level 1, right? So the completed headset is probably in level 1. Then you'd have subcomponents below that, right? Realistically, right? I'm going to hit OK right now for the moment. So if I say select this right here, he's got a set field command that sets this into here. It'll show you the correct title right here, and then it's going to drive this portal to change. So we can say, I'm on at level 1. I want to see this one right here. I don't see anything. Okay, we need to add to that. I can add to that real quick over here. So parts, I'll just do 18 and 19 so we can see that for now. Or parts 23. Do part 23. So I'm going to add part 23, which is that in itself is a kit, right? Because it has subcomponents. Because that's the wire harness there, the wire here, the Y split, and 2 plugs right here. I guarantee that's a kit. But we'll just come over here. I'll say this is this. Okay, I'm going to come back over here. The David Clark part number is this. And then
Oh, so that was the ID, the part number is next to it.
oh, okay. Well, make it like this one up here, the same kind of structure. So move that.
Okay.
If you can move those over there real quick for me.
Sure.
I want to keep the portals from the level 1 to level. I want to keep them consistent in terms of placement.
Got it.
Where a field shows up in the portal does not affect in any way how it's displayed or the relationship graph. So the fact that something's over here versus being over here versus over here being right here, none of these have anything. Have no bearing upon the importance of them. It's mostly about visual. So Calvin's got this set right here. If I go to browse mode, we're going to try it again. I'm going to come over here to the chord kit. I'm going to paste it in. I create it, it auto enters and it loads this number here from the global, right? Because so we're on the headphones. This is level 1. We select it. It loads in the global. That allows us to drive other portals if we want. Okay. And then let me come back over here to this. I'm going to put that part in there. So we have that. I'll say the material cost for this, basically level 3 would be this, how you would build this out, right? Let me add one more part here so we can see that we have 2. I wanted also to put part 19 in there. A boom attachment kit's another kit. Perfect. I quite by accidentally got a really great example here because they're saying the word kit. So these are pre-assembled. That's not raw material. It's not like chunk of wood or a roll of wire, right? 16 gauge stranded copper wire, for example, right? That would be a raw material. Assembled. These are assembled components right here. Make sense? And so we see the parent, we see level one, and then we can decide which of the items below based upon this or this or this or this, and there's some items there we put it in this over here. And then because we have the items in here, we could grab and total these and roll these totals up here. That would be part of the process. What Brock is working on with the furniture manufacturers is be able to roll up all the material costs and the labor costs. This is what they call BOM or material planning. This is the planning stage, figuring out the cost, figuring out the components, figuring out all the pieces together. Eventually what happens is that you get inventory numbers in here. For example, to make this work, this is quantity 1 and quantity 2. But over here you have like, there's probably a headset. There's a speaker right here. See this number speaker right here? There's 2 of these in there. Now it doesn't show, well, there's a 4-pack, a 4 kit, but there's 2 filters here, but there would be 2 speakers in your ears, right? Wherever these are at. These are part 5? Part 5. Earphone assembly. Yeah, it's another assembly, but there's an earphone in there. There's 2 of them, so you'd have quantity 2. And so what happens is you start to say, we need 2 of these and 5 of these and 3 of these. And then you tell the computer, I want to make 100 headsets. What parts do I need to order to get into the warehouse to make 100 headsets? Well, you're going to need 100 headsets, but there's 2 speakers, so you'll need 2 of those assemblies, so you need 200 of these parts. What gets even more interesting is that you have 35 headsets, 24 microphones, tech support, customer service had to replace a couple microphones where they wore out or they were defective. And so what it does, it takes your current inventory into account and it says, this is how many headsets you could make right now with the inventory you have in the warehouse right now, or that's currently back ordered when this next shipment comes in. Or if you want to make 100 of these, you can only make 35 now. I need an order list of the stuff I need so I can deplete the stuff out of the warehouse, not over order, right? And so I can make 100 and using what parts are left in the warehouse. That's where all this leads to. It leads to understanding the direct cost, but also operationally how you manage supply chain. It's your supply chain because you have to order the speakers from Mitsushita or whoever. They're made in, say, Japan. They go on a container on a cargo ship. And so you buy them, they go in the container, the ship goes across the United States or across the Pacific Ocean. It gets harpooned and sunk by the Chinese in the Chinese Strait next to Taiwan because the Chinese are pissed. And the Taiwanese, you got to reorder it. Or the container ship runs into the bridge falls on it, you're stuck in there's still in the container ship that no one's gotten. Some of it's refrigerated, probably rotting in that ship in where was that, Philadelphia, where that happened? Anyway.
It was Baltimore.
Baltimore. So yeah, so you got to think about all these things and supply chain, right? And this is a great example how this works. Now, for fun, for giggles, Calvin, can you construct Portal 2 over here the way that it's set up off that one? Because I'm pretty sure that it's going to drive through the first record, right? That makes sense over here. So could you build a portal off of that? And
sure.
Because if it's not, I want to think about that carefully. So everyone understands that if I wanted to see everything here on level 2, I could construct over here. I could go to level. I could go to level 2, and I could create a Cartesian join at where you do the cross join over here. This thing here, or I do like ID constant 1 equals ID constant 1 is my preferred way of doing it because a Cartesian join is kind of an abstract idea. It's hard. Like if I say 1 equals 1, then everyone understands that would work. Okay, but if I say any record here connects to any record over here, people go, why? And I don't know, because X, which normally means not, X means don't go here, do not drive here, stop. Somehow that means all the on the left connects all the on the right. Once again, not my preferred icon for that. It's kind of hard to teach that. So I'm going to hit OK.
Okay, that grandchild portal's ready.
Okay, so if we come over here to the right, so it is showing, and it's showing everything, isn't it? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm trying to
So
figure out
yeah, so I
why
think what you were
that
thinking
is.
is if we show those fields not in a portal, it's
Mhm.
going, and I'll put those above it. Now it's going to just show you the first record
Okay,
through that
which is the first
relationship.
record here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it should be limiting you through to only the records attached to this first one, but there's none on that, right? It's showing you
Right.
all
So
of them.
it's based because we only have a found count of one in the BOM parent,
Hmm.
then we're only seeing we're seeing all of the records in level two just because all of the records are related to the BOM parent. If we had multiple BOM parents, you would only see the records related to that
Well,
first
level
one.
two is related with this foreign key right here, right? So I don't understand why they're showing up right here. Did you attach it to this or to this one?
The one at the top.
You
As
did.
it, there's two separate portals, one based on the one on the bottom, one based on the one on the top.
Yeah.
But because we're looking at it is based on that ID in level one, but because it's looking through the relationship, it sees all the records based on all of the records in level one that are match up with the BOM foreign key.
Well, from here to here, the bomb parent is whatever the bomb parent is up here. And then from here to here, for them to see it, it has to drive through this level one. Um,
Right, but because it sees all of the records in level one based on the ID BOM parent, the BOM O1, then it
mhm.
sees all of the grandchildren through there as well. So if you scroll to the end, scroll to the right,
Mhm.
you'll see there's two separate IDs here. We see L1 underscore O5, L1 underscore O4.
Mhm.
Because L5 and O5 and O4 are both related to this parent BOM O1, then we're seeing them all through that grandchild.
Okay. This is hurting my head somehow. I am having a hard time with this, and I'm not entirely sure why. So I understand why people get confused by this because I'm actually confused by this right now, and I'm not clear why because you should be restricted based upon you should be restricted. Mark, you have any comments there? Maybe because it should be restricted through this. Because if I look at
It
L1P here,
yeah, it is restricted. So let's go ahead and create a new parent.
okay, so we're
And
here we are.
then so this is O2, and we
Okay,
can give that a name and put in
Calvin's bike. Okay, so Calvin's building a
oh, it's my
bike.
bicycle. I just bought new
Yes.
tires for my bike.
Okay. So then, if I come over here and I start, it's wheel, and you'll need two of those, and it's a type.
Yeah.
It's let's just say it's a assemble component because you have
Mhm.
the rim and the wheel and the spokes and all
Yeah,
this
so
other stuff.
yeah, so now on level two, we can put the rim and the wheel and the spokes.
Okay, but I would have to. Oh, when I
Oh,
jump
but
records,
now,
we would have to. We jump
yeah,
records on record enter. We'd put a trigger here to clear this, right? Clear that.
yep,
So yeah, everyone understands that, right? So if you jump records up here, that global, remember this global right here, the
Oh, it's
value
a global. That's why it's keeping it.
it
Okay.
belongs to over
yeah,
here. So when you jump records on record load right here, it'd come over here and it'd clear this out right here. It'd go like that.
yeah.
Make sense? Um, so I hit select right here, and then that allows us. Now we've selected the wheel, so the stuff we put in here now should be okay. Rubber, tire, and then I have the spokes and the actual rim. Okay. And so that's on level, but then where we have a seat, right? Uh,
I need brakes.
oh, you need brakes. Let's do brakes. Brakes. Okay. And that'll be another assemble component. It'll be, I'm just going to put something up here just so we have something in there. So if I select the brakes assembly, so now we're working on brakes
Oh,
right
see, there
here.
you go. That clicked in my brain finally. Why the two are different?
Yeah, brakes. And then
Yes.
I have the
Yeah.
brake pad. You have hydraulic brakes or the old caliper brakes? What
I
kind of
got
brakes do
the
you have?
old fashioned ones.
Old fashioned one. So you need the pull push pull rods or tubes or whatever those call. Okay.
Yeah,
So then So this is the part that's hurting my head over here is
Well,
this
well that
this
shows
should
well that shows
Be-
all of the level 2 parts that are all being used for level 1, and the selection only shows the parts for like the specific thing.
Yeah, so
this right here attaches to this and this attaches to that. So this part in my head makes perfect sense. This one over here doesn't make sense to me
the
because
and
I
part of the
don't.
reason why it doesn't make sense is because we very rarely use it, something like this,
Oh, is that
because
my problem?
it's
Okay.
well, it's just not something that we use too often because it's not specific enough.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
this is yeah.
If it did show us only what we had selected or only one record, then we could bypass having this selection table occurrence on the level 2 that we're using. But one thing you'll notice, though, we're seeing everything, all the records, but only the ones for this parent record 2, with the bicycle.
yeah.
Versus
So you're seeing all of the components that make up everything selected for level 1 instead of the specific components for the wheel or the brake or the cushy seat.
All right. So all right, there we go. Yeah. So I to me I'm gonna have to wrap my head around this not while I'm on live TV because this one is hurting my head because I don't understand why that's happening that way. So anyway, but yeah, this is the normal thing that we would do. We would show the related records for this. Then you could select and drill down and add labor hours here, Margaret, and then you could have a script. I wouldn't do it with a calcul or a summary field or a calc. I would run a script that says it is into a number field, so the values are in there, like the total labor, right? For the you could have an update button or something, or save it, like have it and press something that would take these. So 5 plus 4 is going to create material costs. Actually, these are not the same fields, right? Let me just do something
Are
else
the
here.
same fields. You accidentally double put the fields.
Oh, okay, Calvin,
I
can we
was
fix
nagged
that?
by that by a
Can you
viewer.
fix that for me?
I'll fix that real quick.
So questions about this, because this is a lot to absorb. This part over here, I
You're all
think is once again, I'm just going to shelve this for now. I'll try to get my head wrapped around it before tomorrow. This is the kind of the standard thing. So Brock has a much more complicated one, but let's talk about making this work a little more smoothly. So we got that, and we have this, okay? And so what you'd want to do is a script that would total these up, and it would come up here to the cushy brakes at level 2, and it would put like 60 in here, right, for you, right? See that? You could have it to be a summary field, but every time you displayed it, it would go through here and recalculate, and that's the road to hell, okay, for
And
everyone.
it will kill your performance
Yes.
very quickly.
So the way you would do this incorrectly, and I'm going to do this incorrectly for everyone. If I was on level 1, so let's go to level 1, and I'm going to say the material cost, right, or labor, I could change this to be a calculation fee. Yep. And then we'll say, oh, it's going to screw everything up. And I would run a summary function right here. And summary can get us the total of the related values to
We want level 2, the numeral 2. The second one down.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about this. So the trick is, the rub is you don't want to run this. You'd want to run this. Okay, let's just do this. Field cannot be found. Oh, I didn't put it in. Sorry, my bad.
That's the wrong table occurrence, though.
Is it which one am I in here? Am I in labor
hours? You're in the
wrong table occurrence.
The selection one. We want the other one.
I want this one?
Yes. Because we're starting from level 1.
Okay.
Because where it says evaluate this
from the context of level 1, so it's going to go from there. Got it. So level 2, labor hours. You could use this other one here, and that's what I was thinking about, but the calculation could only fire for the one that was selected. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You could do it that way. This way, I don't know, it's 6 of one, half dozen another. So I can come over here, hit OK. And so then if I go over here and I add a third item right here, I'm going to create the brake pad, push pull rod, lever. lever or
handle.
grip or hand lever, like that. And I'm going to say, which one did we do? We did labor or material. What was our calculation? Do you remember
I
which
think it
one?
was labor.
Okay, so let's say it's 6 hours of two. That's it. Yeah. So let's put half an hour, 0.5 hours, right? I'm going to click it. 1, 2, 3, click. See it updated.
Boom.
Okay. So the rub is you're like, hey, that's exactly what I want. The problem is if I'm flipping through hundreds of records, if not thousands or millions, right? Every time I flip a record, it's going to calculate. And when I come back forward here, 1, 2, 3, it calculated that number just now in real time. Well, if you have 100 parts in here and you're flipping record, you're actually going to click over here. The watch, the little beach ball is going to spin while it does the math to make it happen. Everyone understand what I just said? So the idea on this is that you don't want to build it this way. We want to go back to level 1. We put this back to being a number field. And hit save. Oh, shoot, did I screw that off? Level 1. Yeah, I took it. Okay, great. So what we want to do is you want to script it, right? So you'd want a way of, if you change, like maybe on exit, like if you exit over here, you could run the total against that because you're editing it over here. You probably wouldn't see it over here, but you're editing it over here. You could make like select this one or this one. There we go. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. There we go. I need to be back on here, right? And then I want to select this one. See, now it's not doing it. So maybe we do it on exit here. So Calvin, you want me to do it real quick? You want me to try to do this? You can supervise. So
Sure.
I'm in it. Oh, shit, on record load. What an So back up. So back up. All right. So here's what's happening. Calvin has already built it. So as I flip records here, it cleared it. See that? And I flip here, it clears it. So if I go to script triggers, see that's a problem. We invite Calvin to come here and he's just blowing everything up. I go script debugger, so you can watch it. If I select this right here, I'm going to select that one. It's just going to run a basic script that's going to set it. Okay. Now if I flip records here, 1, 2, 3, it jumps the record, and then before it refreshes everything, it's going to run the script, which is going to clear that field right there. See that? Pretty clever because Calvin's smart. He built that. So I can barely keep up with Calvin verbally. He's so much faster than I am. So if we want to do, well, you want me to show it on my screen? Do you want to show it on your screen? Build the script.
Yeah, you can do it.
Okay. So, because if I'll do it slower for most people. So Calvin's already got a script over here. I'm going to create a new script. And I'm going to say update level 1 totals for current BOM or something, right? Whatever. That's the name of this thing. Okay. And I'm going to say set the field. So we're going to do a set field command. And yeah, we could do it this way. Level 1. We're going to set in well, we can do labor and we can do both of them. So here's labor, and you're going to target the data. How do we want to do this, Calvin?
So we'll use the same calculation that you used before.
From level
select
1?
level. No, from level 2.
Okay. You want this one, or you want
the other one?
You want this one right here? Okay.
Yep.
Level 2.
And
then we've got the sum of the labor, right?
Sum
of the labor. And so this is going to, then we'll do that one, and then I'm going to just duplicate it. And this one is going to do the same, but we'll do material costs on this one. And then after we're done with this, we would probably commit the record, probably.
Yeah, I was thinking we would open a new window to do this. I'm realizing
you could, well, but if this is locked, you can't edit it, right? So that's
yeah. So if we're going to do it in this screen, we can do that. So go ahead and select the level 1. We got to switch the fields though. So the table occurrence. So level 1 isn't specific. We got to select the other one. Level 1 down. No, the level 1.
No, level 1 then.
I'm sorry, the level and spelled out 1 at the bottom. The level ONE.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. That's what I was. Okay. I love it how you.
I was thinking of doing it a different way.
Okay, that's what I was confused, right? You got two chefs in the kitchen. This is good though. Hopefully we're not horribly confusing the hell out of everyone, right? So that would be great. Level one, the other level one. Okay, and then we go to material cost. Okay, so
Okay,
is
and
this
then
good
we
enough?
need, yeah, on the sum, we need to do level 2. Level new TWO.
On here on the sum.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, you could just replace the number 2 with TWO.
Okay, I could do it that way too. Assuming you spell it correct.
Okay.
Nope, it took it okay. I always get nervous about mistyping. Oh, that was bad. Okay, I'm gonna hit OK like that. There we go. Okay, save, right?
Yeah.
So the idea is that before we actually cause it to auto trigger, let's just kind of like come over here. Oh, I'm just gonna tell it to play. Okay, and now I'm going to actually tell that script to run. So I'm gonna tell it to run. 1, 2, 3, run. Okay, so it ran. You saw it updated that. Okay. Now so now the trick is how to make it non-evasive, right? So I'm going to change this to something else. So notice they didn't update, right? Because we want it to. Do we want to do it when we exit this on modify or on
Yeah,
what
so
would you do
we
here
actually want to do on object save.
on object save? Okay, so I'm going to click on the field. I'm going to right click. I'm going to say script triggers. I'm going to say on object save. And for those of you, you'll try this and it won't get the exact behavior you want. You try a couple different ones of these, but the idea is validate or exit, right? Are both very interesting. So hit OK. I'm going to run that right there. I hit OK. So it's only going to do it here, but I would do it on either one of these, right? In fact, actually, I probably should do it on both. So script triggers.
That'll take 2 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Object save. Run it
And
here
the
again.
reason I would use object save instead of on object exit is that sometimes you click into a field and you don't do anything. If you have on object exit, it's going to fire every time. If it's on object save, it's only when you make an edit.
Now notice the numbers are off here. Now that wouldn't normally be the case. So you come down here and you'd say, oh, I'm going to put 4. Now when I click out or if I tab, is it going to fire? Oop, did it fire? It did fire. So the tab allowed me to fire. So now this is updated. So now these numbers match and this will update if I tweak or modify these down there. However, if I'm flip through records, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, the calculation isn't auto firing randomly, right, Margaret? It only fires when we make an edit to the number down here. That makes sense. This is the difference between a beginning developer and a more advanced intermediate developer. We talk about the progression of learning. I don't even know if I have it on screen here. See if I have do I have the progression of learning on here? I don't. But the progression of learning as a beginner, you're just happy for it to work. As a more intermediate developer, you want to control when things fire and execute. And that's what this conversation, this is we're trying to tie a bunch of different things we've already learned into this conversation.
We have questions.
All right, go. Let's just spend the next 10 minutes doing questions. And
yeah.
Okay.
Why not exit? Asking because I have a calc/commit on exit on my solution.
Yeah, so
exit will work. Why is yours better, Calvin?
yeah, the only reason I said on save instead of exit is because I only want it to fire if I made a change. And
yeah.
So you could do on object exit, but it will be, depending on how intense that calculation is, it's going to fire every time, whether you need it to or not.
Yeah. So the question is are people going to be? So I'm flipping it the other way, and
you won't notice a difference.
You won't notice it here, but if you had a scripted process where somehow in a script you step into here and then you step out, it's like if I do script debugger right here, I click in and I click out, it fires, right? We didn't make a change, so we really don't need it to fire.
It's actually going to give you an error because it doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, so it's giving it an error because it's in there's no value.
You haven't selected anything.
Yeah, the record's missing yet, right? So you haven't selected anything. So yeah, so ideally, so backup. What you could do is you could come over here and once again, I'm not going to get crazy. Margaret, next question. Does that make sense? So it's just a matter of controlling You want it to fire when you want, and you don't want it to fire unnecessarily. So you try to find the best trigger for your particular need. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and usually a trigger that deals with data, I will use an on-object save trigger. But then if my trigger needs to do something with the user experience, like navigating to them to the next field or giving them some feedback, I'll use the on-object exit.
Yep.
And object exit works on popovers too, which is not an option for an object save. So they're two separate triggers.
Yeah. Wait, say popover. Oh yeah, popovers won't. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, and that's all part of it. Like I generally have a pretty good idea which trigger I would use, but there's like 3 of them there: on object modify, on object save, on object exit. Right? There's a couple different ones. You could choose the one you wanted. Right? So,
Yep.
on object validate, which is another one. So this is simply about the timing. Next question, Margaret.
Is it feasible to create a unique child table and a field that references the level?
Is this a question about where we combine all the levels into one? Is that what the question is? Because that's where this goes potentially if you're more of an advanced developer.
Yes, David says yes.
Okay. Is it David Angel?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the deal. If it was me, so back up. So if I go back over here and I look at this, so level 1 or the overall level 1, 2, 3. So these parts belong to this part belongs, and you might not use all these. What someone might do is you'd have a BOM and then a level, and then, but it's the same table, right? Does that make sense? And so the question is, I think if you're an organized person, you're an established developer, which David Angel is, he could build it that way. For basic training, I think it's dangerous, right? We could do that on another day, Calvin. We could do that tomorrow, strictly speaking, if we wanted to. Take this design and build it with, so Margaret, the idea is that what we're saying is that we have a table for this and a levels table in general.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we show, we want to show level
And
1.
it kind of goes back to the idea. This is kind of showing how a BOM works.
Yeah, this is
in your head.
Yes,
but you could definitely build it with only 1 or 2 tables.
Yeah. So if I was building this like following the rules where we build the layout and then we build things to support it, I would only have these. This was put up here so people could understand kind of conceptually how this works. If I go over here to post attendee, David Clark, bill of materials, right? So there's like a YouTube and there's people and there's got robots explaining what this stuff is and all this kind of stuff. But the idea is that you get to this, right here's the graphic. So this is your parent, these are your child's, and the single level, and then you kind of get into this deal where it's kind of not drawn so great here, but this item here would have then split out to 3 or 4 items, and that can split out to 3 or 4 items. This is graphically what I was trying to show with this. That makes sense? So top level, next level, and then once again, it comes down here, but this is multiple records, and then each item that comes off here has potentially multiple records, right? That kind of thing. So that's what this stuff is. So people are trying, this is kind of this idea that if you're going to build this piece, you need these 3 pieces to build it in here. So this is level 1, this is level 2, then level 3 below that, right? So once again, the same kind of stuff that you see over here and stuff. So anyway, so yeah, next question. David's got a great question. That'll be tomorrow's. Tomorrow's going to hurt people's heads because to do that, it's more of an advanced thing. What other questions we have? Let's see what other questions we have. Let the questions. I mean, we want.
I don't really see questions. I'm not quite sure what people's confusion level is, so I would like people to tell me like how confused are they? Like legitimately, like do we need to like retackle this again in a different way?
Well, I have to go back and take a look at how when I was going here to here to here that it's saying because I'm like I have to figure that out.
Yeah, so one thing that might help is if you say okay and close that, and we go into layout mode and change the layout from the table.
With this one here?
No, next to that with a pencil. change. No. Not stay on this layout, but select the pencil to change the table occurrence
Okay, yeah.
and change it to level 1.
Hmm.
Then I think, and say, okay, then I think we're going to see what you're expecting. And so it's going to break everything there, but if we talk, so this particular one part that we're on
Hmm.
doesn't have any children in level 2, but if you just scroll through these 8 records, you'll find one.
Okay.
Yeah, if you scroll to the next record.
Yeah. Okay. Next record.
And
Oh,
next
I
record.
see. Yeah. Yeah. There we
So
go. We're
there, now
selecting
we've
them
seen
down
it.
there. See that? Yeah. Yep. 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 So selecting.
And so
Yeah.
that,
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking. I was just trying to figure out. Yeah. Why that was. It's just. It's kind of a weird. Yeah. I think your assessment is that since we rarely do it, it it is kind of confusing, and I have to once again wrap my head around it because most of the time we build it, I try to keep things very simple for everyone. So we have the parent, right, and then the immediate level. Most solutions we build, we don't get too far down to grandchildren, because if you get down to grandchildren and great grandchildren and great great grandchildren, the performance of FileMaker can go off a cliff in a bad way, right?
really
So that's
fast.
yeah, really fast. So it's better to have things not get too terribly deep. All right, Margaret, other comments you have on that?
So I will briefly like pop up the. I think this might be worth having like a read chat about. Brooks has been here. I've been looking at his stuff.
Ah, there he is. So yeah,
Oh,
this is all inspired by him.
yeah,
So
no, he's been very interactive, but he's mostly been commenting and not asking questions. So I've not necessarily explicitly.
well, this Brooks's solution, this is very high level. Brooks has got a great deal of depth because he's doing real manufacturing of furniture. When I said Brooks making furniture, I've seen his database. I took some screenshots. If you actually do real manufacturing, you got dimensions of items, labor, all the labor costs, all that kind of stuff. But the whole idea is that you understand at the end of the day what it took to build it in terms of materials, how much money is tied into either even storage of it in a warehouse floor, right? You could track how many couches could you put in a warehouse. Well, couches are big. It's not like an iPhone. And when you start dealing with iPhones in boxes, Apple deals with iPhones in hundreds of or millions, many millions of units, right? I don't know how many iPhones you could put in a semi truck, but 1 million iPhones, I'm pretty sure, is more than one semi truck. Never mind furniture, a little iPhone, you'd want to know the floor space of that and how many you could stack up and then how many you could put in a warehouse. Because maybe you bought enough materials, you bought it, you have enough labor, the people are coming in, but you have nowhere to put the finished couches, right? They go in a box with some packing and like, where do I all the way do with the boxes? Oh, I don't know. Database, we didn't put storage of it after completion, right? That's also a thing, right? Oh, we're going to put it out in the back with all the coyotes, werewolves, and frogs and rain. And no one likes a moldy couch. Brooks's moldy couch is incorporated, right? No bueno.
Yes. Brooks mentioned that he'd like to see that us go to level 3, the way it's built currently, to see how it displays the grandchild table. There are people thanking us for the stream, saying it's been really good. So I think it depends on where you are. If you're new to the mindset that
I feel bad about Jesse because there's some that graphic is just so epic, complete.
Oh, yeah, I got confused when he got confused.
Because it's always filtered, right? Every relationship provides a filter, is how that works. So something is funky. Either I set something up funky or Calvin. I don't know what Calvin did. Or
we'll figure it out. It'll be fine.
We'll figure it out. Yeah. Oh, it'll be fine. Of course it's fine. It's always fine. But I just, it doesn't mean I'm not perfect. So it's
the last question we have is Code to Go wants to know why you think that there's a good way to go off a cliff.
Sometimes it's not up to you, your customer, or someone's going to drag you off the cliff with them. That does happen. So yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you for coming today. You have a lovely day. Thank you, Calvin. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Y'all have a good one. We will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.